Visit orthowisconsin.com.
Loyalty, family. Few things are more important. This is WTMJ's Steve Scafidi and Loyal Family Renovations. They saved the day after a brutal storm in Oak Creek. Hail damage, yeah, I had a lot of it. But Jeff, Jake, and the whole team, absolute pros, made the entire process smooth as can be. Let's be honest, not everyone knows how to deal with adjusters. They handled all the questions, quick answers, top-notch customer service. In just 2 days, my roof was done. If storm damage hits, call the team that made it easy for me. Loyal Family Renovations. Visit loyalfamilyrenovations.com.
At Tropical Smoothie Cafe, summer is our season, and we're kicking it off with a free 12-ounce Sunrise Sunset Smoothie for National Flip Flop Day on May 28th from 2 to 7 p.m. Terms and conditions apply.
For WTMJ contest rules, visit WTMJ.com/contests.
Traffic is sponsored by Flanners Home Entertainment. Flanners.com. Just press play.
Upgrade your entertainment setup today. For the best in audio and video for your home, indoors and outdoors, Flanners Home Entertainment delivers sound advice at the best price. Flanners, just press play.
Trusted, relevant, locally owned, locally programmed. We are Wisconsin's radio station. News Radio 620, WTMJ Milwaukee.
I'm Julia Fellow. This is Wisconsin's Afternoon News for Wednesday, May 28th. Your top story, a graphic Milwaukee murder trial continues.
And I'm Toya Washington in for John McCure, a second victim in a school bus sexual assault case.
I'm Debbie Lazaga. We've got some delays along northbound 43 coming out of the Marquette all the way up to Keefe. Southbound's backing up from just about Keefe all the way through the Marquette onto the high-rise bridge to the KK River. Westbound 94 definitely getting heavier from 20th Street all the way out past Hawley Road. The eastbound side's backing up from 76th Street all the way to 35th. I'm Debbie Lazago with your WTMJ Time Saver Traffic.
Isolated showers possible tonight. The low will be 50 degrees. Tomorrow, partly cloudy. Slight chance of more showers. The high will be 68. Right now in Milwaukee, it's 58 degrees and cloudy. From the WTMJ Breaking News Center, day 2 of the Maxwell Anderson trial.
Opening statements began Wednesday in the trial of Maxwell Anderson. Prosecutor Ian Vance Cruzan told the jury.
And what I'm going to ask you to do now and ask you to do at the end of trial is 2 things. And they're 2 things that the judge just mentioned during those instructions. Use your common sense and search for the truth. That is your job.
Defense attorney Anthony Cotton told the jury.
And they're using the phrase common sense because they want you to ignore the mountain of reasonable doubt that exists in this case.
The trial is expected to last 2 weeks with graphic testimony and dozens of witnesses ahead. Nizer Spencer, WTMJ News.
A Milwaukee school bus driver accused of sexual assault is facing additional charges. Thomas Felser is charged with first-degree sexual assault of a child under the age of 13 and 2 more counts of sexual misconduct by school staff or volunteer. Now, this is all on top of initial charges filed May 16th, 1 count of repeated sexual assault of a child and 3 counts of sexual misconduct connected to a 6-year-old victim. Prosecutors say they've identified a second victim with surveillance footage showing a 5-year-old girl assaulted over the last 2 months. Felser is pleading not guilty to all charges.
Identifying the missing boater recovered from Lake Monona. The Dane County Medical Examiner says the body of Colin Smith was found late Friday. Smith was born and raised in St. Louis, was on a sailboat with 3 other people when it capsized May 16th. 1 person drifted ashore on the overturned boat while 2 more were rescued as they clung to a kayak. Smith was not wearing a life jacket.
President Trump is expressing more frustration with Russia and Ukraine after his deadline for them to come up with a ceasefire deal has passed. But the president also says he's giving both sides another 2 weeks. ABC News White House correspondent Karen Travers.
President Trump again said he is, quote, disappointed by Russia's recent attacks on Ukraine. But when asked about the consequences for Russia if they don't move forward on a peace deal, he said he wouldn't answer. Pushed on what's preventing him from putting more sanctions on Russia, the president indicated he didn't want to take action that could put a peace deal in jeopardy.
Only the fact that if I think I'm close to getting a deal, I don't want to screw it up by doing that.
Karen Travers, ABC News, the White House.
A judge finds the government acted illegally in the case of a Russian scientist. Here in the U.S., CBS News correspondent Matt Piper.
A federal judge has granted Russian-born scientist Ksenia Petrova be released from immigration officials. The Harvard University researcher has been dealing with a charge of smuggling frog embryos into the U.S. She was stopped and detained in February after passing through a checkpoint at Boston's Logan Airport. The court heard from several witnesses, including a doctor who said the frog samples were inert and non-hazardous. Petrova is not being released yet, though, as the government has until Friday to propose terms of her release. Matt Piper, CBS News.
A man accused of breaking into a billionaire's home in Montecito, California, and attacking a woman inside has pleaded not guilty. ABC's Alex Stone reports.
A woman who was inside the home of Beanie Babies tycoon Ty Warner was beaten, quote, comatose due to brain injury by an intruder, according to court documents. Sheriff's deputies moved in. 42-year-old Russell Fay initially refused to come out, accused of trying to burglarize a mansion when he came upon the occupants inside. Raquel Zick with the Santa Barbara County Sheriff's Office.
They were barricaded at one moment.
Eventually, the SWAT team went in and Fay jumped out of a window. He was arrested. He's now charged with attempted murder, assault, and kidnapping. Alex Stone, ABC News.
It takes one wrong click to turn your vacation into a nightmare. The Better Business Bureau representatives say travelers are tricked into hotel scams around this time of year. And also, investigations with the BBB serving Wisconsin tells WTMJ what to look for when you book your vacation.
Capital letters in the middle of sentences, things that don't make sense, contact information. Make sure it's all there. Make sure that you're able to verify that that website is, in fact, the hotel website that you are looking to go through.
They recommend booking through the hotels directly to avoid any trouble. Coming up, does your IQ match this toddler's? Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News time approaching 4:05.
Hey, John Mercure here for Kohl's. Check this out, Milwaukee. Kohl's is extending their incredible Memorial Day sale for one more week. If you missed out over Memorial Day weekend, now's your chance to shop their guaranteed best deals store-wide. Save big on furniture, appliances, and mattresses only for a limited time at Kohl's. This is the big sale. And while you're there, check out Flanner's Home Entertainment, located inside Kohl's showrooms in Grafton and West Allis. Flanner's, your destination for high-quality electronics. And right now, shop a special sale on audio components. Check out the speakers, receivers, amplifiers, and more. Get sound advice at the best price.
NMLS ID 255368.
After writing 3 unsuccessful offers, Brenda decided to make a no-regrets offer on this next property. She offered $35,000 over asking and promised to complete the purchase even if the appraised value came in as much as $25,000 below the accepted offer price. Why? Because she was tired of losing, and because her Accunet loan consultant showed her that even in her worst-case scenario, no additional money would be needed at closing, and her payment, which on this home was much more affordable than others she wrote offers on, would only increase by $17 a month. Brenda's no-regrets offer, backed up by a rock-solid guaranteed pre-approval from Accunet, was accepted over several others. And wouldn't you know, the appraised value came in at the significantly higher than asking purchase price, which happens 9 out of 10 times in our experience. If you or someone you know wants help understanding what a no-regrets pre-approval might look like, get started by clicking on the blue button at Accunet.com. That's ACCUNET.com.
Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News time 4:07. An exclusive society gains its youngest ever member. CBS Matt Piper.
A 2-year-old has become the youngest ever member of Mensa, the exclusive club that only welcomes people with an IQ of 132 or above. Joseph Harris Bertil was admitted to the organization at the age of just 2 years, 182 days. His mom tells Guinness World Records that the toddler is learning Morse code, knows the Greek alphabet, and rolled over at 5 weeks. She says he said his first word at 7 months. Harris Bertil is 13 days younger than the youngest female member of Mensa when she was admitted, American Isla McNabb of Kentucky. Matt Piper, CBS News.
Time for a WTMJ Sports Update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call, That's All Sports Desk. The Brewers sweep the Red Sox, winning 6-5 in extra innings this afternoon. The Brew Crew has Thursday off before heading to Philadelphia Friday. The Packers back on the field today for more off-season team activities. Green Bay has its second of 3 voluntary OTA sessions. The team will wrap up the week tomorrow before practicing 3 more times next week. The team will begin mandatory minicamp June 10th.
Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News time 4:08.
The Mr. Fix-It Show this Saturday is sponsored by Aaron's. When purchasing lawn equipment from Olson's Outdoor Power Equipment, you're well taken care of after the sale. Olson's knowledgeable staff handles the warranty and parts, can answer all of your questions, and can handle all your tune-ups and repairs. Check out the impressive line of lawnmowers on display at Olson's Outdoor Power Equipment showroom in Muskego. Stop in and say hi to Fawn, the guest this Saturday on the Fix-It Show, sponsored by Aaron's. That's Olson's Outdoor Power Equipment in Muskego, sponsored by Aaron's.
Wisconsin's afternoon news is on the air. Broadcasting live from the Annex Wealth Management Studios at the Avenue in beautiful downtown Milwaukee. Here are your hosts, Julia Fellow, and in for John McCure, it's Toya Washington.
So glad you're with us, Toya.
I'm so happy to be here.
What an incredible Brewers game.
Oh my gosh.
My gosh.
Listening to it in here, I was like, this is a different experience for me.
I know. I was screaming. I was like, ah! Oh, fantastic. At 4:09, we're going to talk to the host of the Tori Lowe Show on 101.7 The Truth from 1 to 4. Tori Lowe, thanks for joining us.
Hey, what's happening in? Thank y'all for having me.
So this is a crazy story that you want to talk about. This guy who used to run the morgue at Harvard has just pled guilty to what?
Stealing body parts, selling body parts. And when I saw this story, I was like, Harvard, prestigious. But then, the kind of thought that there's people selling body parts on the dark web and things like that. This is just creepy to me. And when I saw this story, I brought it up on the show because, I think that when we talk about somebody doing something sick like this without people knowing, people dedicate their body to science all the time. And they're thinking that their body is going off for a great cause.
Yeah. Exactly.
But then this guy right here is taking the bodies and selling them however he was selling them on the web. Now he's being charged.
Apparently with his wife.
Yeah,
and
who's also been charged, and it sounds like she's got sentencing coming up. So
right.
Yeah.
Massachusetts, New Hampshire, and Pennsylvania was where he sold it from 2018 and through 2020. His wife is also charged as well, and they made tens of thousands of dollars.
Wow.
He could face 10 years in prison. Do you think that's enough?
And my thing was, okay, we know that this guy got caught, but then who was he selling it to? We don't see any real details on like the people that were purchasing it. What was the price?
Exactly.
Is this a ring? Is this something that, this is Harvard. This is happening at a school that people are dedicating their life. They'll die and
their past life.
Right.
I mean, yes.
The past life.
Yes.
I guess. I mean,
I want to.
It's just wild to watch.
It is.
I want to donate my body to science.
Yes.
To help people. And then this guy, apparently, after it was all said and done, they did the studies. Some of them were different body parts, half of a head.
Yeah.
Okay.
And now they had done the research, and then after they were done doing the research is where the body parts then were being sold.
Well,
but they are supposed to be disposed of in a pre-agreed manner.
Well,
not
my
this.
thing is you got the donor thing where you put your, where you donate your organs, and then you got this is post corpse, like this has been sliced. So how much is that worth? I mean, what I'm saying is he was getting money for things that are probably been, old body parts,
manipulated. They've been researched on.
I
don't know.
That's what I'm saying. Like, but then somebody brought up that now people can have a surgery if you're short to grow like 6 feet.
What?
People are getting height surgery now.
Okay.
So is that
what
I don't know.
Are they getting some of the bone?
Somebody brought it up. I don't know. But I see a guy who got height surgery, and he went from like 5'5" to like 6 feet.
And you got to think of how did they do that?
I don't know.
Bone?
Maybe I don't know. I may have to look into it, but.
Don't use a company computer to be looking at it. Yeah, then you're gonna get roped into.
Well, I'm gonna tell you
investigated.
this. Somebody, when we brought it up on the show, it was an interesting conversation. But like I said, now you got to be more careful when you want to donate yourself to science.
I agree. 10 years he could face. Is that enough?
That's not enough. He violated trust, community trust. He got to be. A lot of times when people talk about these ideas of people selling body parts, I remember somebody said, "Man, this is gonna cost me an arm and a leg."
Oh my!
Well, now
Tori.
here we go.
Yeah, exactly.
In poor and hilarious taste all at once.
I'm just saying.
But here's the thing: the biggest question is, who were they selling it to? Who was interested?
That's what I'm saying.
And they did not answer that. Harvard, of all places.
They do say there are other individuals that have already pleaded guilty to the transport. But again, like, I still want to know, like you do, what is going
when
on?
you hear these stories, you never hear the roundup.
Yeah.
You hear the guy got caught, but it's a whole bunch of people involved in this. It's obviously somebody feels that there's a need for this. Why don't we round all these people up? Did he send them an invoice? Can we track them? I don't know.
Wow.
There's got to be something there.
That
That's
is
going to be a
crazy.
good news magazine,
It is.
hour-long
It's a federal
show.
crime, too.
Yeah.
It crossed over state lines. This is crazy. Is it international
And
crime?
he brought them home before. That's the other thing. Like, you brought them home to store them before shipping them off into
Whoa.
I got so many
It
questions.
seems like a lot going on here, but like I said, they got him. Now, who else? We
who
need
else did
to
we
get a RICO charge on people. We need to round everybody up.
All of them.
Totally. He's the host of Tori Lowe Show on 101.7 The Truth from 1 to 4. Tori Lowe, check him out. He always has the craziest stories.
Hey, it's
Amazing.
real life.
It is real life.
It's 4:14 on WTMJ.
Hey, John Mercure here. I love Otto's Wine and Spirits. It makes me smile. Serve in Milwaukee since 1945. It's where I buy my wine. It's where I buy my beer. It's where I buy my spirits. It's Otto's Wine and Spirits, employee-owned, friendly staff, 7 locations. They know what they're doing. They've got the best prices at Otto's. They've got the best selection. Open 7 days a week with several locations. Milwaukee, Menominee Falls, which is where I go. Elm Grove, Brown Deer, Cedarburg. It's Otto's Wine and Spirits. They are the real deal. Buy it at Otto's.
It's Gina Della. You've heard me define what makes Pella Windows and Doors different. Let me introduce you to the woman behind the billboards, commercials, and share my extraordinary journey of resilience, reinvention, and shattering glass ceilings every Saturday morning at 6:30 on 620 WTMJ and anywhere you stream podcasts for What's the Difference with Gina Della to discuss business coaching across all industries, featuring successful executives, entrepreneurs, and mentors along the way. This is a story you won't want to miss.
True Chicago-style pizza is thin, crispy, and cut into squares. And thanks to Connie's Frozen Pizza, you can enjoy a true slice of the city. You'll enjoy it so much you won't even mind where it comes from. Connie's Frozen Pizzas are made from the same cornmeal crust Connie's has been serving for over 60 years. They're perfectly cheesy, perfectly saucy, and they're exactly what you crave. Get to know the true Chicago style with Connie's Frozen Pizza. Born in Chicago, loved by cheeseheads. Available in a freezer aisle near you.
While making the playoffs was their goal, these guys couldn't even hit a lobster roll.
Oh, look at this guy.
Look who's got Smart Pack.
The Brewers host the Red Sox for a 3-game set.
Right field deep. Back at the track. Bye-bye baseball. A 2-homer day for number 22.
Our Brewers Radio Network game day coverage starts today at 11:35. This series is sponsored by Steinhoffel's Memorial Day Sale. We are the home of the Brewers. WTMJ.
Find furniture for life from Ken Michaels Furniture in Brookfield, Greenfield, or downtown Milwaukee. Milwaukee Mattress, where top quality mattresses are priced hundreds less than premium national mattress brands. Found exclusively at Ken Michaels Furniture in Brookfield, Greenfield, and downtown Milwaukee.
Traffic and weather at 416. Debbie Laska, how are the roads?
Well, it's pretty heavy as folks are letting out of the ball game. We got westbound 94 from about 20th Street all the way out to about Hawley Road, then back on the brakes from the zoo to the county line. On the eastbound side, slowing from 84th Street all the way through to about 27th Street. Southbound 43, that's going to be heavy from Keefe all the way through the Marquette and over the high rise all the way down towards Chase. On the northbound side, backing up out of the Marquette all the way to Keefe. I'm Debbie Lazago with your WTMJ Time Saver Traffic.
Here is your WTMJ 5-day forecast. Tonight, mostly cloudy, isolated showers are possible. The low will be 50 degrees. Tomorrow, a slight chance of more showers. The high will be 70. Friday, a chance of evening thunderstorms, a high of 76. Saturday, mostly sunny, a high of 70. Sunday, mostly sunny, 60 by the lake. 75 will be your high inland. Right now in Milwaukee, it's 57 degrees and cloudy.
He cut up her body, tried to get rid of her body parts, and tried to cover it up in any way that he could.
That's part of the opening statement by prosecution laying out the gruesome details of the murder of 19-year-old Sade Robinson. The state is pointing the guilt towards the man that she was on a first date with and the last person known to see her alive. 34-year-old Maxwell Anderson. These details are hard to hear. I want to warn you before I play any of what the jury heard next from the prosecution to begin this case. Shocking details of this heinous crime.
That night, she was murdered by Maxwell Anderson. Her body was dismembered by Maxwell Anderson in a vicious and gruesome manner. And then Maxwell Anderson attempted to make her disappear from this world by discarding her body.
Prosecution laid out that 19-year-old Sade Robinson went to 2 different locations, a restaurant and a bar with Maxwell Anderson, then went to his house on the south side in Cudahy. Never came back home to her apartment that night. They also tracked his every move, thanks to Robinson's downloading an app on her phone called Life 360. That app shows exactly where she was down to the minute, shared with her friends and family, and it includes Anderson's home that she was at for about 3 hours. Then to Warnemount Park in Cudahy, where Anderson is accused of driving her already cut-up body to and placing pieces of her body in Lake Michigan. Finally, that app shows where her car was taken to and torched on the north side. The next day, her leg was found washed ashore in Cudahy by a passerby. Meanwhile, the frantic family members were already outside searching for Sade the next morning and found even more evidence on the city's north side.
During these searches, family, friends, and police found Sade Robinson's other leg and other foot scattered and severed into pieces near that playground at 31st and Galena, just a block and a half away from where her car was set on fire.
I could only imagine what her friends and family were thinking when they saw these things, including her torched car. Prosecution say that the cuts on her body that were found of her body parts were clean, meaning that according to investigators, tools had to be used to intentionally dismember this young Milwaukee woman.
Maxwell Anderson intentionally decapitated Sade Robinson, intentionally cut off both of her legs, cut off her left arm, intentionally cut off her right breast, which has never been found, and intentionally cut off her head to date, which is still missing and has never been recovered.
And made clear to the jury what happened to Sade was no accident.
One does not end up going out to dinner and then going out for drinks on Water Street for a good time to being dead and cut up into pieces and discarded into Lake Michigan unless someone intends for that to happen.
Exactly. Anderson has pled not guilty, maintains his innocence. So what could his defense be? His attorney said in opening statements today, there's no disputing that they went on a date. It's on surveillance video. They went back to his house. They saw friends. And there's no disputing that Sade was dismembered. But his defense attorney says, where is the evidence that Maxwell Anderson had anything to do with her murder and dismemberment that night?
What I didn't hear was the theory of why Max did this, how Max did this. But I think what I heard in opening just now is that Max must have done this at his home. We don't dispute any of that timeline that they went out together and went back to Max's house, but that doesn't mean he killed her. How did he do it, and why did he do it? Why would he ever do something like that? If Max killed Sade in his home, if it happened in that location, as I think they're offering to you, there would be a mountain of DNA evidence. There would be blood. Yes, it's gruesome. Yes, it's horrible. Nobody deserves it, but what was glaringly missing, from what I heard, was any discussion about DNA evidence.
That's defense attorney Anthony Cotton. And if you know that name, it's from, he represented Morgan Geyser in the Slenderman stabbing trial. So he's a very well-known defense attorney. He also added another thing he hopes the jury will think about. What prosecution did not say in their opening statement as well, that Maxwell Anderson lives in a duplex. And he says that's important to know and for the jury to know because the neighbor who will testify later for his defense could hear every single footstep.
A self-described or self-professed light sleeper. I think one of the things he had said to the police is even if one of Max's dogs is chewing a bone on the floor, he would even hear that and send messages to Max, your dog is chewing a bone, you're keeping me up, you're bothering me. He's a very light sleeper guy. And what Pete Warbington will tell you is that he was home, he was there that night, there was no struggle, there was no fight, there was no horrific event, argument between Max and Sade, but this is a downstairs tenant who can hear even the TV playing. Nothing.
So this jury, made up of 12 women and 3 men, will need to decide if Maxwell Anderson is guilty of murder, mutilating a corpse, arson, and hiding a corpse. Meanwhile, right in the front row, Toya, is a mother grieving. Sade's mother looking on as all of this is said in court. She looks like she has bags in her eyes, hasn't slept. This is just horrible. The court was already warned that photos of her daughter's body parts will be shown. One could only imagine what this mother is going through. Her daughter, Sade, was studying criminal justice at Milwaukee Area Technical College, was set to graduate the month after she was killed. So she was killed April 1st. She was supposed to graduate in May, and she was going to enlist in the Air Force. And that is what should be remembered, is Sade in all of this. We'll be following this case. Those are opening statements. Day 3 starts tomorrow at about 9 o'clock. At 4:24, time for News About Your Money, the WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. Everything in the red, down just slightly, about 0.5% for the Dow, down 244, S&P 500 down 33, NASDAQ down 98. Financial planning at every level, Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, Annex Ignite. Details at annexwealth.com.
John Mercure here for Annex Wealth Management. Investment and retirement planning is important, but too many people just put it off. Let this be your nudge to connect with Annex Wealth Management for a no-pressure chat. Getting acquainted is simple. If it feels right, you take the next step. And if your current plan's raising red flags, maybe your advisor's firm is shifting in ways that don't sit well, there's no harm in a fresh perspective. Annex brings everyone together under one roof. Their in-house experts covering financial planning, investments, taxes, and estate matters work as a unified team to streamline your strategy. With branches spanning the WTMJ listening area, meeting up is easy, and their Annex Everywhere option makes virtual check-in a breeze. Trade disputes, tariffs, they're keeping markets shaky, stirring up volatility that demands a steady hand. Don't wait for the dust to settle. Help secure your family's future now with a thoughtful, seasoned plan. Visit annexwealth.com. Click the Get Started button. I did that years ago. Schedule your own appointment today. That's Annex Wealth Management. Fee-only fiduciary. It's Annex.
Jake suffered with carpal tunnel syndrome. Tingling numbness in my hands and fingers, not sleeping well at night, tossing and turning, trying to manage with pain pills and stretching, and it just wasn't helping. He didn't want the traditional invasive carpal tunnel surgery. But I had seen people with the bandages and scars and clubs for hands. I just don't have time to be incapable of doing things for 6 to 8 to 10 weeks. Then he learned about the Ovation Hand Institute and the Ovation Technique, an ultra minimally invasive procedure done in the office. I wanted to get it looked at sooner than later. So I had the virtual consult. It was very thorough as far as like I was sitting in a doctor's office. I was booked for the procedure 2 weeks later, had my right hand done. Very quick procedure. It was really great. That very night when I went home, it was the first time in probably 3 months my hand did not wake me up. Book an appointment with the Ovation Hand Institute and find out if you're a candidate for the Ovation Technique. Probably the most surprising thing was how quickly I was able to do things again. I'm cooking dinner, I'm doing yard work and all that kind of stuff the next day. Visit ovationhand.com. ovationhand.com.
What if you could lose up to 1 pound of fat every single day at Milwaukee Weight Loss? They've got the secret, and it's helping people shed serious weight fast. Hey, it's Steve Scavini from WTMJ. I've been on the Milwaukee Weight Loss program since January and currently in the maintenance phase after losing, get this, 40 pounds. It was fast, easy, and safe, and I'm sticking with the incredible team at Milwaukee Weight Loss to keep the weight off. Their doctor-developed, easy-to-follow program helps people lose weight naturally and safely with no drugs, no risky injections, no meal kits, no shakes, no exercise required. It's not just about losing weight. It's about resetting your metabolism to keep it off for good with personal coaching every step of the way. And guess what? Their program costs up to half as much and works up to twice as fast as most other programs. Many clients lose 20 to 30 pounds in just a month or two, up to 1 pound of fat a day. Book your free consultation now at MilwaukeeWeightLoss.com or call 262-449-1180. That's MilwaukeeWeightLoss.com.
With the trees budding and the flowers blooming, take a beautiful drive this week through the Kettle Moraine Forest for a free dinner at the historic Fox and Hound Supper Club. WTMJ's John Mercure here. It is the most unique and affordable dining destination in Wisconsin, and your second dinner's free. Order your favorite steak, seafood, the pan-fried walleye, a fresh salad, steak and lobster, even prime rib on Wednesdays, Any entree, your second dinner is free. Desserts, my favorite part of dinner, are also buy one, get one free. Unwind with a sweet old-fashioned, 20 bourbons, 100 wines. Celebrate a birthday. Celebrate an anniversary, or just a quiet, free dinner with your sweetie at one of those 8 dining rooms. The Fox and Hounds, easy to get to, just off Highway 167, 2 miles east of the Holy Hill Shrine. The spring drive is spectacular. It's coming to life. Fox and Hounds gift cards make perfect year-round gifts, as your second dinner is always free. Order online at foxandhoundsrestaurant.com. Walk on in tonight for your free Fox and Hounds dinner.
Slide into your neighborhood Century Food Store to score the freshest produce, tastiest treats, and everything in between. Now through Wednesday, save on 4.75 to 16-ounce selected varieties Frito-Lay Lay's, Kettle Chips, or Red Gold Pretzels, 2 for $5. 8 to 16-ounce selected varieties Old Dutch Tortilla, Potato, or Kettle Chips, or Salsa, 2 for $5.50. 2.37 to 3.5-ounce selected varieties McCormick Grill Made Spices, 2 for $4. 14-ounce or 6-count selected varieties Haagen-Dazs Ice Cream or Bars, $3.99.
Ooh, pineapple fulfills every need.
While you're shopping, a drive way back, it's a gunner.
There's something goofy going on with the PA.
Need a price check and I'll take me out to the ball game.
See, what is going on?
You're hearing things. We're at Century Foods, and you can't take your mind off winning that ultimate baseball fan sweepstakes.
I'm hoping to throw out the first pitch at a Milwaukee baseball game.
Or attend batting practice.
Or hold the finish line ribbon for the racing sausages.
You don't say.
The ultimate baseball fan sweepstakes at Century Foods. Enter on Century's Facebook or Instagram by July 30th.
Traffic is sponsored by Flanners Home Entertainment. Flanners.com. Just press play.
Upgrade your entertainment setup today. For the best in audio and video for your home, indoors and outdoors, Flanners Home Entertainment delivers sound advice at the best price. Flanners, just press play.
Wisconsin's afternoon news on Wisconsin's radio station, News Radio WTMJ.
It is 4:30. I'm Julia Fellow. Your top story this half hour: trial day 2 for an accused killer in Milwaukee.
And I'm Toya Washington in for John McCure. Lost military equipment afloat in Lake Michigan.
I'm Debbie Lazaga. Still a hefty ride along 41 southbound from Highway 145 all the way down past Burleigh. The northbound side backing up from Watertown Plank Road all the way up to Silver Spring. Westbound 94, you got delays from the Marquette all the way to about Mitchell Boulevard. You're back on the brakes from about 76th Street all the way to the county line. Eastbound 94 is backing up from 84th Street all the way through the stadium to about 35th. I'm Debbie Lazaga with your WTMJ Time Saver Traffic.
Isolated showers possible tonight, a low of 50. Tomorrow, a slight chance of showers, mostly partly cloudy throughout the day. Tomorrow, a high of 68. Right now in Milwaukee, it's cloudy and 57 degrees. From the WTMJ Breaking News Center. Opening statements today, both sides laid out their version of the truth in the trial of Maxwell Anderson.
Prosecutor Ian Vance Cruzan told jurors this is a case built on facts, video footage, phone records, and forensics evidence.
He was the last person to be with Sade Robinson, and the evidence will show that he is responsible for Sade's death.
But the defense attorney, Anthony Cotton, pushed back, telling the jury there's no DNA, no blood, no weapon, and no motive.
And the state knows that there are serious holes in their case. They know it. They know that there's reasonable doubt, and that's why they're coming at you with this phrase, like common sense.
The jury will weigh both sides over the next 2 weeks, with emotional testimony and graphic details expected throughout. Nazir Spencer, WTMJ News.
Suspended for a week by the Wisconsin Supreme Court, Dane County Judge Ellen Burrs was presiding over an OWI case in December of 2021, where the defendant didn't show up because he was in the hospital. She then ordered her bailiff to go arrest him, even leaving the court herself to go get him. She eventually returned to the court without him and ordered a bench warrant for his arrest. The Wisconsin Judicial Commission filed a misconduct complaint against Burrs in October. The suspension will start June 26th.
President Donald Trump signing a pardon for a former member of Congress. CBS News correspondent Matt Piper.
President Trump has issued a pardon for Michael Grimm, who resigned from Congress after being convicted of tax fraud. The former FBI agent won re-election in 2014, despite being under indictment for underreporting wages and revenue at a restaurant he ran. When they successfully argued for a prison term for Grimm, the feds noted how he threatened a reporter who asked him questions about his case, as heard on New York One back in 2014.
Let me be clear to you. You have to do that to me again, I'll tell you this.
If you ever do that to me again, I'll throw you off this blank balcony, he told a reporter at the Capitol. Matt Piper, CBS News, New York.
Grimm represented parts of Staten Island and Brooklyn. He was also paralyzed from the chest down just last year when he was thrown off a horse during a polo tournament.
Palestinian ambassador to the United Nations, Riyad Mansour, delivered an emotional address to the UN Security Council today, breaking down in tears as he described the unbearable suffering of Palestinian children amid the ongoing war in Gaza. He says Palestinian children are starving to death and do not deserve this.
I have grandchildren. I know what they mean to their families. And to see this situation of the Palestinians without us having hearts to do something is beyond the ability of any normal human being to tolerate.
He described a doctor who lost 9 of her 10 children and saw them as they arrived at the hospital after an Israeli airstrike.
Police in California investigating a jewelry store heist. It netted the burglars more than $2 million. ABC's Alex Stone.
When the owners of Five Star Jewelry arrived at work, you can hear them in shock to find everything gone. Surveillance video shows burglars army crawling through a next-door candy shop and cutting through a wall before midnight on Sunday. They cut through concrete and 8 inches of safe. Jonathan Youssef is the owner's son.
Everything that he built for me and my family is now gone.
He says the thieves snuck out with about $2 million worth of merchandise and took off into the night. Alex Stone, ABC News.
Lake Michigan beachgoers, beware of lost military flares.
The Coast Guard is warning of 3 armed phosphorus pyrotechnics from a joint military exercise with the Air Force. They were deployed offshore in Milwaukee earlier this month, but did not activate.
It's a silver shell, about 15 to 18 inches in length, and it has some military markings on it and warning label.
Lake Michigan Public Affairs Officer Joe Neff tells WTMJ the flares could have activated and sunk by now, but still recommends caution.
We're not telling people to avoid the beach. What we're just saying is if they do spot one on the beach, just don't touch it. Please call 911.
Jessica Gatso, WTMJ News.
A 4th missing flare was located on Montrose Beach in Illinois by a lifeguard Monday.
The first in-person Milwaukee Public Schools-led Crisis Town Hall meeting is tonight. The City Commissioner of Health tells WTMJ how important informing parents is.
We always listen really intently to what the parents are saying and really try to key into how we can tailor our communication or our response to make sure that parents feel like their voices are being heard.
The meeting begins at 6 o'clock at Rufus King International Middle School.
Time now for a WTMJ sports update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All sports desk. The Brewers sweep the Red Sox, winning 6-5 in extra innings this afternoon. The Brew Crew has Thursday off before heading to Philly on Friday. The U.S. Women's Open, by the way, back in Wisconsin this week for the first time since 2012. And this year it's at Erin Hills for the first time.
Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time approaching 4:36.
WTMJ's Eric Bilstead here for QC Kinetics. The big focus in America today is on your health, right? So why aren't you feeling any better? Your knees always hurt, your shoulders keep you from exercising, and you're done with all the pills and the steroids, and you cringe at the thought of surgery. You've done everything, but the pain is always there. It's exhausting. This is when you got to call QC Kinetics. It's revolutionary treatment. It works to give your body long-term relief. Regenerative treatments takes your body's own healing power and helps and restore your damaged tissue. Call QC Kinetics today and get yourself a free sit-down. Talk to Dr. Justine Bennon. She's great. I've met with her. You can walk through the process with her. She explains it in a way that's understandable, and she can do the same for you. 414-285-3474. Call QC Kinetics today and get your life back. 414-285-3474. That's 414-285-3474. Call QC Kinetics today.
There's only one store that gives you every possible choice in diamonds.
Welcome to Kessler's.
WTMJ's Eric Bilstead here for Tri-County Contracting. We talk all the time about Tri-County Contracting, the place to go for roofs and siding, but don't forget, Tri-County Contracting also does windows. Need a new front entry door? Tri-County Contracting, or maybe a patio door that's always jammed. Get your free estimates today. They've been helping homeowners like you for 46 years. Tri-County Contracting, WI.com. It's worry-free roofing, siding, and windows. Tri-County Contracting, WI.com.
Wisconsin's afternoon news on WTMJ.
Yeah, time now for Travel Wisconsin on Wisconsin's afternoon news. Sponsored by TravelWisconsin.com. We have your travel secretary, Ann Sayers, in the talk and text line, and we're talking about best or fiction.
Yes, hi. It's so good to be here talking about festivals, which here in Wisconsin, we have some inconceivable, borderline unbelievable festivals. We get to talk about a few today.
Exactly. And listeners can always test their knowledge at home by playing the game at travelwisconsin.com/fest or fiction. So we're going to play a little game, right?
That's right. So the premise is very simple. I'm going to say the name of a festival, and then you guess whether it's real, fest, or made up fiction. You ready to test
All right.
knowledge?
I'm ready.
All right.
Number one.
loaded.
Okay. Sovereign State Days, fest or fiction?
Sovereign State Days?
That's right.
I'm going to say fiction.
I'm going to say fiction.
It's a fest.
Oh.
Okay.
And it's fun ones. You can travel to Winnebago County this summer for a community festival honoring a mapping error. It's 58 years old. So back in 1967, the village of Winneconne was accidentally removed from the official state highway map, which led to confusion, obviously, widespread attention. They leaned into the mistake, and the leaders of Winneconne playfully declared themselves a sovereign state. So the impasse was ultimately resolved, and Winneconne was restored. It's on the map, but the community still celebrates the local lore each summer. You can head to Winneconne the weekend of July 17th to the 20th for family fun at Sovereign State Days. It's food trucks, fireworks, kid-friendly activities, and a parade.
See, I was very confused as to what they're...
They're on the map now.
I was very confused as to what goes on at that type of festival, but that clears it all up.
Interesting. Okay, we have 3 more to redeem ourselves, Toya. All right, what's number 2, Ann?
Number 2, the Leaping of the Lambs.
I'll let you go
Fest
first.
Leaping of the Lambs. I'm gonna go fiction.
I'm gonna say fest.
All right, it is fiction, but
Toya!
Ooh. I feel like there might be one this year.
I love it.
But we have something very, very close, and it's called the Roofing of the Goats in Door County. And this annual event honors the celebrities of Sister Bay, the goats of Al Johnson's Swedish restaurant. So you can travel to Door County Saturday, June 14th for a very unexpected festival. The day starts with a parade of goats through Sister Bay and culminates with the first roofing of the goats for the summer. And throughout the day, there's other festivities like kids' games, live music, great food and drinks, and a Swedish pancake eating contest.
Ooh, that's fun. I love that. Okay, so Toya's 1, I'm 0. All right, question number 3, Ann. We're doing fest or fiction?
UFO Days.
Fest.
Yes, absolute fest.
Ding, ding, ding. You are both correct. Wisconsin has not one, but at least 2 UFO days. You can go to Northwest Wisconsin this summer for Elmwood UFO Days. That's happening July 25th to the 27th. They honor their local legend of being a hot spot for visiting aliens and UFOs. Join the spirited celebration by dressing up in your best alien or astronaut costume. Be sure to visit the Grand Parade, where many floats take on UFO-inspired designs. But then in the fall, Dane County community of Belleville hosts its own UFO days. They honor local sightings of UFOs and welcome visitors from this planet or others the last weekend of October. And then I love this, for one more extraterrestrial encounter, head to Cadott the weekend of June 6th for the 7th for Force Fields. This is an alien-themed festival that is paired with some of the hottest electronic music artists there in Chippewa County.
Wow, Chippewa County. That's coming up on June 6th. Okay, Toya has 2. I have 1. We're playing Fest or Fiction with Travel Secretary Ann Sayers. And our last one.
Last one, the Liechtenstein Lamboozle.
Liechtenstein Lamboozle?
That's right.
Okay, that's really specific.
Very hyper.
Fest.
I'll go with fest.
It's actually fiction.
What do you have for us that's adjacent?
You were so close. Luxembourg Fest. It's the village of Belgium in Ozaukee County. It was founded by Luxembourgish immigrants, and the community annually honors its connection to the small European nation. And actually, the royal family of Luxembourg even visits the village of Belgium from time to time. I know. You can join other celebrants on August 7th through the 10th for what's billed as the world's largest Luxembourg family reunion. It's cultural demonstrations and displays. You can taste authentic Luxembourgish dishes and find plenty of entertainment to fill the weekend.
That is so cool. I always wanted to meet royalty.
I know. Should we go?
Awesome. Okay, Ann Sayers, Travel Secretary for Travel Wisconsin. You can always do this with your friends or family. You can discover more unexpected festivals at travelwisconsin.com/fest or fiction. Ann Sayers, thank you so much.
Thanks.
Awesome. It's 4:43 on WTMJ.
Hey, John Mercure here for Azura Memory Care and Assisted Living. Their mission is to transform the culture of care, and they do it every day with compassion and with empathy. They've got locations throughout Southeast Wisconsin. I've been to the locations. I love how they treat the people who live there. They specialize in caring for those with early to late-stage Alzheimer's or other related dementia symptoms. They offer early memory loss classes. Wisconsin-based and family-owned. Kindness at the core. It's Azura Living. Check them out at azuraliving.com. It's Azura.
Wherever you are in Wisconsin, there's a free and confidential Aging and Disability Resource Center, ADRC, or Tribal Partner Agency. We're here for older adults, adults with disabilities, and your families. ADRCs are a bridge to support for benefits and financial assistance, transportation, in-home care, and more. Get to know your local ADRC and connect with resources today. Call toll-free 1-844-WIS-ADRC or go to findmyadrc.org. Paid for by the Wisconsin Department of Health Services.
Welcome back to Ask Hassleus. I'm Weston. What's your question?
Yeah, when you say your Hassleus mattress showrooms are employee-free, you don't really mean it, right?
Of course we mean it. No employees. Give the mattresses a try with no pushy sales guy.
Why no employees?
To save you money.
How much money?
Well, others sell a Beauty Sleep by Beauty Rest Elm Cove B Queen for $16.59, but the everyday Hassleus price is just $8.42.
Whoa, Nelly.
We also have way low pricing on our selection of Sealy Posturepedic and more.
Well, that's pretty good.
And through Monday, purchase a select Beauty Rest or Sealy Posturepedic mattress in any size and receive a free adjustable base.
That's exceptionally good.
Plus, free next day delivery, removal and setup of your new mattress, and free financing is available too.
All because your showrooms are employee-free?
Yes, sir.
I like the way you do business.
Get a free adjustable base now through Monday at Hassleus Mattress. Open 9 to 9. Get all the details and find the self-service employee-free showroom near you at hassleus.com.
Here's to experiencing it all this summer in Wisconsin. Every deliciously cheesy, rockin', magical, fireworks-filled, festival-loving moment. There's Cheese Curd Fest in Ellsworth, Strawberry Fest in Cedarburg, Festival of the Arts in Stevens Point, and the Renaissance Fair in Bristol, Honor the Earth Powwow in Hayward, Mile of Music in Appleton, Venetian Fest, Bratfest, Summerfest. So many fests for your whole crew. Find them all at travelwisconsin.com. There's nothing out there close to this.
You should be listening to Wisconsin's Midday News with Greg Matzik and Jessica Ty each weekday.
They call it Rizzo Ball, but the funny thing is now it's so popular, all the neighbors want to play.
Rizzo Ball is?
Yeah.
But if you missed us, catch up anytime with our Wisconsin's Midday News podcast.
So subscribe, take us with you wherever you go. Full shows, full hours, all the interviews, the fun stuff that you may have missed throughout the course of your day.
Powered by Siding Unlimited. It's siding and a whole lot more.
Traffic and then weather. Debbie Lassica, how are the roads?
Well, definitely slow out there for sure. Southbound 43 is just not letting up. We got delays from south of Capitol all the way down past the Marquette interchange, all the way down to the KK River crossing. On the northbound side is slow right out of the Marquette up towards Keefe. Westbound 94, we got some backups basically from 20th Street all the way through to about 76th Street, then back on the brakes through the Zoo interchange and all the way into Waukesha County. Starts to let up once you get on the other side of Moreland Road towards Calhoun. On the eastbound side, that's backed up from 76th Street all the way to 35th. And of course, we got our construction delays on 41. The southbound side slow from Appleton Avenue down to Burleigh, northbound from Watertown Plank Road all the way up past Silver Spring. I'm Debbie Laziga with your WTMJ Time Saver Traffic.
Here is your WTMJ 5-day forecast. Tonight, isolated showers are possible. The low will be 50 degrees. Thursday, a slight chance of showers. The high will be 68. Friday, in the evening time, there's a chance of thunderstorms. Be aware. A high of 76 degrees. Saturday, mostly sunny. A high of 70 degrees. Sunday, sunny. You can see the sun. It'll be nice. 68 your high at the lake. 75 inland. Right now in Milwaukee, it's cloudy and 57 degrees.
Presented by Huracan Bank, it's time for the Milwaukee Economy Briefing, where we dive into the latest trends and insights shaping our city's business landscape. To help explain the trends and the news is MMAC President Dale Koinga on Wisconsin's Afternoon News.
Horicon Bank, the natural choice. Visit horiconbank.com. Milwaukee Economy Briefing. Dale Koinga, President and CEO of MMAC. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me, and go Brewers. Another great win.
Can you believe that? I was screaming.
Nail biter.
Nail biter. Oh, so good. Where are you at right now?
I'm ashamed to admit this, but you could judge me either way. I was at the game last night. I left at the 8th inning, so I had to go pick up my daughter from volleyball.
Oh.
So I missed the tie and then the grand slam. But
Been there.
I think I'm going family first on this one. I got to pick my
Gotta
daughter.
do it.
So.
Gotta do it.
Party foul.
Gotta do it.
Foul.
Yeah.
Okay, so why don't we stay with the Brewers? The entertainment district around AmFam Field is going to be studied.
Yeah, so full disclosure, I'm on the Stadium District Board, but everything I'm going to tell you is public information. If you look at a lot of stadiums around the nation, and actually one of the leaders on this was our very own Lambeau Field and the whole Titletown District, it's really transforming a destination stadium arena to a larger experienced piece of real estate with shops and restaurants and bars and maybe even residential housing. So the district is going through a process of just getting RFPs, requests for proposals from different parties saying, from a feasibility perspective, what does this look like? And there's a lot of things that need to be considered there. Like, we don't want to lose that tailgate experience, which is so uniquely Wisconsin. I don't want to lose that, but is there an opportunity to retain that while also not cannibalizing other parts of the city that are enjoying business before the games, and make a larger destination similar to like the Deer District or Lambeau Field?
Yeah, that was what Rick Schlesinger was saying about a year ago, saying we don't want to mess up less parking space. And it's not the same as Deer District, Dale. For example, the Brewers do not own the land, the county does, but maybe they're seeing a little bit of the bright side of this, that this might keep people there longer and spend money.
Yeah, I mean, essentially, baseball has not been drawing the crowds that the NFL and the NBA have. It's America's pastime, but it has not had the same momentum as other sports. So you really have to make that a larger experience. And so building out that larger experience around the stadium is what other teams are doing and what has to be considered when you're thinking about being a competitive place that people want to go. I mean, it's always helpful to remember that we're the smallest city metro in the nation with a professional baseball team. There's several metros larger than us and growing faster that would love to have them. So they're locked in for several decades here, but we'd like to lock them in long term, and having a destination site is what teams are doing. I mean, if you look at the Bears in Chicago, the Bears are looking to get away from that Soldier Field site because they don't have a larger experience around that stadium. So this is a trend, and it's our responsibility to study that trend to see what opportunities are there.
See, it's funny because I'm from Minneapolis, and the last time I was in the cities, I was like, how do you guys do baseball here? Like, I grew up there, but I didn't go to baseball games because it was back when it was in the Metrodome. I mean, I guess I went to a handful, but yeah, like that's one of the things. Like, you're plunked right down in the middle of, just on the outskirts of downtown Minneapolis. I'm like, but you can't tailgate. Where do you play bags? What do you do? So very interesting stuff there.
Yeah, I just had battalion command in the Army in Minneapolis. I took the team out to see the Twins, and I mean, it's nice to have a downtown stadium. I mean, that's cool. The negative is, the team doesn't get a lot of revenue from things around the stadium. The downtown Minneapolis does not have the same momentum as Milwaukee, so it's a little bit dead. And quite frankly, it's crazy. I mean, Minneapolis is consistently colder than Milwaukee, and they don't have a dome. So this time of year going to games is not exactly a pleasant experience quite often.
No, not at all. I'll wait till the middle of summer to do that. So, all right, moving from that, can we talk a little bit about Milwaukee and its rankings in the U.S. for parks? We were just talking about Minneapolis and the downtown dying area, but we are thriving here as far as the parks are concerned.
Yeah, this has always mattered, but it matters more and more with new generations, is that if you're going to recruit talent, if you want to retain people, you got to have a robust park system. And kudos, by the way, to County Executive David Crowley, who does a great job managing those parks and prioritizing them. But yeah, if you look at Milwaukee ranks among the best. We're 18 of 100. In fact, we beat Madison. They're number 19. We just edge them out. But they have some pretty good criteria. What is the walking distance to the park? How many parks do you have? And Milwaukee just has a great park system that is, I know my family and I really enjoy the parks. Many great memories from, the Menominee Parkway to little golf, all the golf courses they have. So, yeah, it's really cool to see Milwaukee recognized as one of the best cities for the park system. And, it's a priority for the business community and then also for the broader community to maintain those parks and make sure that they're an asset for generations to come.
Absolutely. Oh, I love it. Okay, so this is something that has to do with factory jobs. And the president wants to bring, steel and aluminum factories, have them, get back up and running, more of them, or build them. But the question that a lot of people are asking is, will anyone take the factory jobs that President Donald Trump wants to bring back to the U.S.?
Yeah, I mean, you would like to say you'll have people work in them if you're also going to do reforms in immigration policy. Because the reality is when you come to second, third, fourth generation Americans, a lot of them don't want to work in these steel factories, aluminum factories where it's the perception is it's dark, dirty, and dangerous, the 3Ds. Now, the reality is most manufacturing is very different than it, but there's still a segment of heavy industry that is, hot, it's loud, it's long hours. So the question is with close to record unemployment in America and a workforce shortage because we're getting older and there's less people to workforce, if you bring this back to America, do you have the labor to fulfill those jobs? And
Toya's saying no.
The same level of steel and aluminum, but if you look at like Apple, the president's really stuck on getting Apple phones made in America. And quite frankly, I just don't know people that really want to sit there with tweezers,
little
and big
screws, yeah.
Little screws and assemble iPhones. I mean, that's the way global trade works. Is there's other nations that have lower cost structure that want to do that. The question is, do we have Americans that want to do that type of work? And, the data says probably not.
And the migrant workforce still is strong, though, right?
Well, it's strong. I mean, we have a lot of immigrants working in those jobs in certain sectors, and that's everything from entry-level jobs like landscaping, cleaning services, but also high-level jobs like computer software is also predominantly immigrants. So, that's why I say is if you're going to do this, if you're going to prioritizing reshoring and having manufacturing domestically, which is a worthy goal, then you also need to look at other things such as the immigration policy, because, a good thing is that the border crisis has been solved. That's great news. But now that you have solved that illegal immigration crisis, you really need to recognize that our economy still relied upon a lot of those illegal immigrants, including our dairy farms right here in Wisconsin. And you need to have a strategy to get folks in here that want to climb the economic ladder and do a lot of those jobs that a lot of Americans just don't want to do.
He is the president and CEO of MMAC, Dale Koenga. Thank you so much, Dale. We'll talk to you next week.
See you next week. Take care.
The Milwaukee Economy Briefing is sponsored by Horicon Bank, the natural choice. Visit horiconbank.com.
Tell us a little bit about Innovative Signs.
We're located out in Waukesha. Where we are really focused mostly is manufacturing outdoor electrical signs.
You came to Horicon Bank. How do you think other local businesses can benefit?
When I call, Michelle picks up the phone, and when I email, she responds in a timely manner. A few years ago, I talked to my accountant about shopping around looking for a different bank just to get some alternatives, and he said, absolutely not. You're not going to like working for a big bank. They have a lot more regulations. So that's how we got involved with Cornerstone Bank. When Horicon purchased Cornerstone, we came along for the ride, and it's been great.
These are your business headlines from the Milwaukee Business Journal.
A controversial hotel project in the Deer District will be reviewed by the city on Wednesday. The 7-story hotel proposed by the Bucks has gotten pushback from some city leaders who say the site should get a bigger, denser hotel, but there's disagreement about whether or not the city can hold out for a hypothetically better project. Although more apartment buildings are being built nationwide than ever before, in most of the country, that means in the suburbs. Milwaukee, however, is bucking that trend. It tops the charts in the construction of apartments in the downtown area, with more than 3/4 of new apartments built since 2020 being in the urban core. Drive-thru coffee chain Severn Brew is brewing up a new location in the city of Milwaukee. City records show plans for a store on West Layton Avenue, which will go before the city's Board of Zoning Appeals in July. I'm Timothy Gibbons with MilwaukeeBusinessJournal.com on 620 WTMJ.
WTMJ, W277CV, and WKTI HD2 Milwaukee from the Annex Wealth Management Studios. This is News Radio WTMJ, a Good Karma brand station.
This report is sponsored by the Pfister Hotel. Beautiful Pfister. Make your reservations right now. Visit thepfisterhotel.com.
For over 130 years, the Pfister Hotel in downtown Milwaukee has been delighting guests with impeccable service and luxurious accommodations. Celebrate your next special occasion with a stay at this newly renovated Milwaukee icon. Enjoy fine dining at acclaimed restaurants and pamper yourself with a service from the Well Spa and Salon. Experience the hotel's afternoon tea program or take in live music with the best views of the city from Blue, the 23rd floor cocktail lounge. There's always a reason to celebrate with the Pfister Hotel. Make your reservations today at thepfisterhotel.com.
Experience, knowledge, and results. That's what really matters when you need help after a serious truck accident. You'll need a lawyer experienced in fighting and winning for people just like you. Gruber Law Offices has the resources, strong track record of success, and a team of experienced lawyers to take care of your needs. We've successfully helped people injured in big truck accidents for more than 35 years. Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
Hey, WTMJ's John Mercure here for Orthopedic Hospital of Wisconsin, the best in the area. They're going to take care of you big time. You want to play pickleball. You want to golf. You want to play with your grandkids in the front yard and do it with no pain. Go to the place that has the highest patient satisfaction ratings and the top doctors in the area. It's Orthopedic Hospital of Wisconsin. I've met the docs. I've walked through the hospital. It's absolutely incredible. They're going to take great care of you from beginning to end. Go to OHOW.com, hit the request an appointment button. OHOW.com, request an appointment.
For over a century, local broadcasting has evolved with the needs of the community. We move past the stigmas of opinion journalism and bring the most relevant news online, on air, and on the go. You have trusted us with your news, sports, weather, and entertainment. Trust us to keep moving with you. Text radio to 52886 and tell Congress local broadcasting is here to stay.
It's Gina Della. You've heard me define what makes Pella Windows and Doors different. Let me introduce you to the woman behind the billboards, commercials, and share my extraordinary journey of resilience, reinvention, and shattering glass ceilings every Saturday morning at 6:30 on 620 WTMJ and anywhere you stream podcasts for What's the Difference with Gina Della to discuss business coaching across all industries, featuring successful executives, entrepreneurs, and mentors along the way. This is a story you won't want to miss.
$1 for just $1 over cost. You can buy brand new tires from us. This is Jim Griffin. Any major brand, just $1 over our cost with free tire repair and lifetime rotation. Available at all 5 Griffin stores. Just $1 over cost. That's Griffin.
Not combinable with other tire offers.
Built Right. One location saves you money.
You gotta get to Built Right today.
Trusted, relevant, locally owned, locally programmed. We are Wisconsin's radio station. News Radio 620, WTMJ Milwaukee.
This is Wisconsin's Afternoon News for Wednesday, May 28th. I'm Julia Fellow. Your top story. Witnesses take the stand in a gruesome Milwaukee murder trial.
And I'm Toya Washington in for John McCure. More sexual assault charges against a Pewaukee bus driver.
I'm Debbie Lazago. We've got delays along southbound 43, pretty hefty ones too, from Capitol Drive, just basically bumper to bumper all the way down to the KK River crossing. The northbound side slowing out of the Marquette interchange all the way up towards Keefe. 894 eastbound right at the Hale interchange. We've got some delays as you're making your way down, basically from National Avenue down through the Hale onto 894 eastbound, so give yourself that extra time. And it looks like we got a broken down semi off on the right shoulder on northbound 41 at Good Hope Road. Now this is out of traffic, but it's been enough to make for big delays coming from Appleton Avenue up past that point. There's still delays there anyway because of the road work from before Watertown Plank Road up past Hampton. I'm Debbie Lazago with your WTMJ Time Saver Traffic.
slight chance of showers tonight, then it'll be mostly cloudy, a low 52. Tomorrow, partly cloudy with a chance of evening showers. The high will be 65. Right now, it's 58 degrees in Milwaukee and cloudy. From the WTMJ Breaking News Center, opening statements began today in the trial of Maxwell Anderson, the man accused of killing and dismembering Sade Robinson. She was just 19 years old. Prosecutor of the Milwaukee County, Assistant District Attorney Ian Van Kruzen, said this to the jury.
Over the course of the rest of this week and into next week, you are going to hear testimony from the witness stand. You are going to see exhibits. You are going to see a lot of exhibits and hear a lot of testimony. And all of it at the end is going to boil down to your ability to use your common sense and search for the truth.
The defense says there is no physical evidence linking Anderson to her death.
Given instructions before the Maxwell Anderson trial, Judge Laura Crivello tells the jury not to consider any information about the case outside the courtroom.
Any information you obtain outside this courtroom could be misleading, inaccurate, or incomplete. Relying on this information is unfair because the parties would not have the opportunity to refute, explain, or correct it. Do not communicate with anyone about this trial or your experience as a juror while you're serving on this jury.
Anderson's trial is expected to run for just about 2 weeks.
A Pewaukee school bus driver accused of sexual assault is facing additional charges. Thomas Felser, charged with first-degree sexual assault of a child under 13, and 2 more counts of sexual misconduct by a school staff. And that's on top of initial charges filed earlier this month, a count of repeated sexual assault of a child connected to a 6-year-old victim. Prosecutors say they've identified a second victim with surveillance footage showing a 5-year-old girl assaulted over the last 2 months. He pled not guilty to all charges.
Identifying a missing boater recovered from Lake Monona, the Dane County Medical Examiner says the body of Colin Smith was found late Friday night. Smith, who was born and raised in St. Louis, Missouri, was on a sailboat with 3 other people when it capsized May 16th. 1 person drifted to shore on the overturned boat, while 2 more were rescued as they clung to a kayak. Smith, by the way, was not wearing a life jacket.
Coming up, Paradise comes with a first-of-its-kind tax. Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 5:05.
Save on the best quality furniture and mattresses during the Memorial Day sale at Ken Michaels Furniture. With major discounts from our premier suppliers, you will save big bucks on top brands like Bradington Young, made in the foothills of the Great Smoky Mountains. Bradington Young is known for its fine quality leather upholstery. Fjords brings you modern Scandinavian designed recliners and sofas, ergonomically engineered for more hip and back support. Norwalk, with American roots that go back over 100 years, specializes in making furniture just for you. Choose the piece, style, fabric, or leather you want, and in just 35 days, we'll deliver your new sofa, chair, or sectional. In-stock or special orders are all sale priced. Need a little help putting it all together? At Ken Michaels Furniture, our design staff is ready to help you with your purchases. And it's free. Stop in today and save during our Memorial Day sale at Ken Michaels Furniture on Capitol Drive in Brookfield, Highway 100 in Greenfield, or our downtown Mattress Factory showroom.
A cancer diagnosis shouldn't mean we can't make plans. It shouldn't mean living without joy or optimism. Cancer shouldn't be calling the shots. At the Froedtert and the Medical College of Wisconsin Cancer Network, we're pushing to put cancer in its place by pulling together teams of leading specialists and researchers who work tirelessly for breakthroughs, who are developing innovative ways to treat every cancer, to treat your cancer. And by providing the largest cancer clinical trials treatment program in Wisconsin, so there are more treatment options and more reasons to be hopeful. So let's keep innovating. Let's keep discovering. Let's push to make every cancer diagnosis a story of survivorship and bring back the lightness of life that cancer takes away. To learn more about breakthrough cancer care, visit Froedtert.com/cancer.
Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 5:07. It will soon cost a bit more to visit the land of paradise. CBS News correspondent Jim Kursula.
It's the nation's first such law. Democratic Hawaii Governor Josh Green has signed legislation that imposes a 3% tax on hotel rooms and vacation rentals to raise money to address eroding shorelines, wildfires, and other consequences of climate change.
If we don't do proper destination management, if we don't keep our beaches properly
tended to, if we don't make sure the parks are perfect, people will stop coming here.
The new tax comes nearly 2 years after a wildfire on Maui killed more than 100 people. Jim Crisula, CBS News.
Time for a WTMJ Sports Update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All Sports Desk. The Brewers sweep the Red Sox, winning 6-5 in extra innings this afternoon. The Brew Crew has Thursday off before heading to Philadelphia Friday.
Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time 5:08.
Okay, adventurers, listen up. Fox World Travel just dropped some seriously incredible Fox Group vacation destinations for 2026. Set sail on a yacht through the Croatian coastline, join a thrilling African safari, or immerse yourself in the mecca of all flower shows in London. And for the first time, we're introducing a woman's-only tour, partnering with Insight Vacations, Globus, and African Travel. But these are just a few of the exclusive offerings. But don't wait. They're filling up fast. Call 866-GO-FOX-GO to reserve your spot today.
Save big on everything for your next outdoor project when you shop at Menards. Greenworks 40-volt cordless tools have everything you need to keep your yard looking great. The Greenworks cordless trimmer and edger is lightweight, starts instantly, and comes with a 40-volt battery and charger. Pick one up today. On sale now through June 1st. Plus, check out our weekly flyer on Menards.com for more great deals happening this week.
Save big money at Menards.
Wisconsin's afternoon news is on the air. Broadcasting live from the Annex Wealth Management Studios at the Avenue in beautiful downtown Milwaukee. Here are your hosts, Julia Fellow, and in for John McCure, it's Toya Washington.
John on vacation. Well-deserved time off. Toya, so glad you're with us.
Nice to be here. He always seems to escape right when we have these little weird cold snaps. Isn't that odd? Mm-hmm. Isn't that odd?
Mm-hmm. So do you know Beanie Babies?
Yes.
You know all about that. Ty Warner, he's a name known to those who collect those. I met him one time.
You did?
Yeah, I was working in Oak Brook, Illinois, and he primarily lived there in the early 2000s, and he was such a nice guy. And when he gave me the credit card to pay for something, it said Ty on it. Yeah, I thought it was really cool. But there's something really crazy that ABC's Alex Stone is following. A woman was beaten by an intruder at the Billionaires Beanie Babies founder's home. Alex, what happened?
Yeah. Hey, Julia and Toya. And you know what? On the Beanie Babies and the ones that were like Beanie Babies, for so long they said Ty on the tag. And I always thought, well, that's got to be like a Chinese toy company or something. Didn't realize that it was the American creator of it, Ty Warner. So, yeah, he created this Beanie Baby empire, and he made billions off of them, and then went on to buy high-end hotels and resorts around the world, still does. That some Four Seasons are owned by him, and he owns other properties as well. And he's got a mansion in Montecito, celebrity enclave, home to people like Oprah and Prince Harry in Santa Barbara County. And last week, a man broke in, detectives believed, to burglarize a home. But Warner was there, as was a woman who has worked for him over many years. And the intruder allegedly savagely beat the woman inside the home. This is the police radio call as they were putting it out.
Someone was knocked unconscious inside the residence. The intruder is still inside.
The intruder is still inside, and that woman, apparently longtime executive at Warner's company, she was beaten to a point of comatose due to brain injury, according to court documents, and she was found outside near a pond when deputies got there. Warner was able, he's 80 years old, he was able to get out on his own, but this intruder, 42-year-old guy, Russell Fay of Nevada, combat veteran, he was inside, claiming that he lived there and he wasn't going to come out. More of the radio traffic.
Updated suspect's description will be black shirt, blue jeans with a shaved or balding head. He was last seen running into the residence, but the back door is open that leads to the beach.
So he was in the home. Eventually, there was a huge SWAT response. They went in after quite a while. They found him in an upstairs bathroom. He then jumped out of the second-story window and was caught by a team on the ground and a police canine. Neighbors were told to stay away. Police were out with their long guns.
We were on the walk. There were a couple of highway patrolmen with automatic rifles just telling us to keep going. My car was pretty much boxed in by law enforcement, so we were told to leave the area.
Yeah, so Fay was arrested. He's being held on $1 million bail. He's pleaded not guilty. He's due in court on Monday for his preliminary hearing, but the charges include kidnapping, attempted murder, assault. It appears that he was just choosing the mansion to burglarize it. Then he went inside, and the occupants were there, and then just viciously attacked her. She has been in a coma. Last word, she still is, but just a really bad situation.
That's horrible. And when he was my customer in Oak Brook, he would drive in with just a regular like old Jeep Wrangler and was very friendly, very nice, like not flashy at all. So this is really surprising. He's worth $6.1 billion as of this year, according to Forbes.
He made a lot of money off those Beanie Babies and then resorts, but Beanie Babies really got him there.
So did you see what the mansion looks like? Is it huge?
Yeah, it's a big mansion along the beach area. But yeah, this brings up, you remember a couple weeks ago when Jennifer Aniston had that stalker appear at her front gate and then armed security stopped him from getting in. This is why police, especially in the celebrity areas of Southern California, are saying that whether they're a celebrity, Ty Warner is to some, but he clearly has a lot of money, that if you could be a target, that really, and it does cost a lot of money to have 24-hour armed security, but that they're telling celebrities and the ultra-wealthy, they got to do it. That whether they're a target or their home is a target, that this is a repeated thing. And had there been security on site, physical security, maybe they could have stopped it from happening like they did at Jennifer Aniston's house.
Unbelievable. ABC News correspondent Alex Stone. Thank you so much, Alex.
You got it. Thanks so much.
It's 5:13 on WTMJ.
Hey, John Mercure here for Guthrie and Fry Water Conditioning. My reverse osmosis system in my house is fantastic. The water I drink, the water we feed the dogs, the water we cook with is crisp, clean, and clear thanks to Guthrie and Fry's RO system. It's technology that's been around for a long time, but it's the best in the business, and Guthrie and Fry will get it to you. It's affordable, it's effective, and you'll feel a lot better. It's all about the science. Southeast Wisconsin's #1 choice, and my choice is Guthrie and Fry Water Conditioning.
Better water makes a big difference. Guthrie and Fry.
It's time for unbeatable Memorial Day savings at Blaine's Farm and Fleet. Right now, find great deals on supplies to kick off summer your way. Like 20-pound bags of Estate Sunny or Sun to Shade grass seed, $10 off. Your choice of Estate Weed and Feed or Summer Lawn Fertilizer, $5 off. Plus, Rewards members get free same-day delivery on all pet supply orders of $49 or more when you order by noon. Find the value you need to start your summer your way. Blaine's Farm and Fleet. Be an original.
Wherever you are in Wisconsin, there's a free and confidential Aging and Disability Resource Center, ADRC, or Tribal Partner Agency. We're here for older adults, adults with disabilities, and your families. ADRCs are a bridge to support for benefits and financial assistance, transportation, in-home care, and more. Get to know your local ADRC and connect with resources today. Call toll-free 1-844-WIS-ADRC or go to findmyadrc.org. Paid for by the Wisconsin Department of Health Services.
While making the playoffs was their goal, these guys couldn't even hit a lobster roll.
Oh, look at this guy.
Look who's got Smart Pack.
The Brewers host the Red Sox for a 3-game set.
Right field deep. Back at the track. Bye-bye baseball. A 2-homer day for number 22.
Our Brewers Radio Network game day coverage starts today at 11:35. This series is sponsored by Steinhaffel's Memorial Day Sale. We are the home of the Brewers. WTMJ.
Are you tired of being tired? Go to adventknows.com.
Traffic and then weather. Debbie Lazaga, how are the roads?
Well, southbound 41 backing up from Appleton Avenue all the way down past Capitol Drive to Burleigh. Northbound is slow from Mayfair Road all the way up to Capitol. Eastbound 94, we got some backups from about 76th Street all the way through to 35th. Westbound's a little heavy from 25th Street through the stadium to Mitchell Boulevard. You're back on the brakes from 84th Street all the way to the county line. We got some delays on the bypass as well from National Avenue heading southbound down around the Hale interchange to Forest Home. I'm Debbie Lazaga with your WTMJ Time Saver Traffic.
Your WTMJ 5-day forecast. Tonight, isolated showers are possible. The low will be 50. Tomorrow, a slight chance of showers, a high of 68. Friday, a chance of evening thunderstorms, a high of 76. Then mostly sunny Saturday and Sunday. Saturday, the high will be 70. Sunday, the high will be 75. Right now in Milwaukee, it's 57 degrees and cloudy. Wisconsin's Afternoon News Podcast is sponsored by Dave Dracamp Heating. Your comfort is their family's tradition. Visit DaveDracamp.com. The opening statements by prosecution in the trial of Maxwell Anderson, accused of the murder and dismemberment of 19-year-old Shade Robinson, the woman he met her April 1st of last year for a first date. Her body parts would be found the next day by passersby on the lakefront. We want to go to the most respected investigative reporter in our city, TMJ4 News' Jenna Ray, who's been covering this case that's now in the national spotlight. Jenna, we weren't there in the courtroom, and everybody's watching the live stream. Can you paint the picture of what it was like where the victim's family was and reactions during opening statements?
Definitely. So this was the second day of the trial today. Yesterday was the first day where we went through jury selection, just kind of a normal process. But today was definitely where some emotion was elicited from both people in the gallery and the jury, to be honest. In the courtroom, a lot of Sade Robinson's family, her mother, sister, father, other family members, friends, and supporters. A lot of the rows on the prosecution side filled in support of Sade Robinson. On the other side, Maxwell Anderson's mother and father were in court both today and yesterday. We also have some other family members, I believe, and some supporters of the Anderson family who were there as well. A lot of students actually coming in to view this case. I know some high school students have been there the last 2 days learning about the court process. This is definitely a court case to be remembered, attending. But we got through a lot today, Julia. The state called 11 witnesses today. It includes a man who found Sade Robinson's severed leg, several law enforcement officers, the Cudahy water superintendent, and a few people who knew Sade. And a lot of today's questioning was surrounded around Warnemont Park in Cudahy, which is where Sade Robinson's severed leg, was found just a day after she went missing, as you mentioned in that brief intro.
Wow. What was the reaction of the jury when the prosecution was talking about Sade's gruesome murder, the body parts? What was their faces?
I think the jurors were a little bit prepared for it because this was mentioned in juror questioning yesterday. It's something that both the prosecution and the defense brought up to jurors, asking them if they felt comfortable seeing blood, if they felt comfortable seeing severed body parts. A lot of jurors wincing, verbally telling the prosecution and the defense that they were not comfortable looking at images like this or being in a room where this was being talked about. Obviously, those people not sitting on the jury today, but it was emotional for everyone to hear the prosecution talk about, I don't want to go too graphic into details for viewers because it is very disturbing.
I know.
So I'll just give a brief warning that I'm going to mention a few things that the prosecution talked about in their opening remarks today. They talked about, showing pictures, and we saw those pictures of her severed leg. They talked about how in the future we are going to see her severed torso with her head and her arms and her legs cut off. So a lot of emotion coming from Sade Robinson's family, friends, and supporters, a lot of mouths of the jurors being covered. You could audibly hear some gasps in the courtroom as this was being discussed. And then obviously once they started calling witnesses and showing some of the evidence, including the photo of her severed leg, again, an emotional response from some people in the room.
Some of the things that we've been monitoring on a bigger screen here, watching different stations kind of covering it. And one of the things that I was noticing is one of the witnesses that they called, one of the men that was on the beach that found that leg, I guess for someone who maybe hasn't watched today, can you kind of give us where they were at as far as describing what they saw? Because we've not necessarily heard from these people yet.
Right. This was the first time that we've heard from people who were actually involved in, unfortunately, finding these body parts across Milwaukee County. One of the first people we heard from was one of the witnesses who found her severed leg. And it's been over a year. And this witness talked about the fact that he still has trouble talking about this to this day, and that he doesn't really like to recall that day that he found the leg back in April of last year, and that it's something that it's hard for him to talk about and something that he doesn't like to think about a lot.
Well, that's one of those things that you learn in this business and in general, you can't unsee things.
Oh,
and,
I know.
I think we're a little more hardened and whatnot, but it's hard.
You want to hear the officer? He also testified. I have this. This is about 35 seconds. This is the officer that went down with a witness and he was holding on to the shoulders of the witness, trying to get to the scene to prevent him from possibly walking into potential evidence again. And this is what the officer, the Cudahy police officer, said. Here we go.
And then as we continued walking, he got startled really quick. And I was like, what's up? And he's like, it's right there. And so I had moved him to the side, and about 5 to 8 feet in front of us was the leg was located there. I could readily see that it was, I believe, to be a black female, a leg from either, the leg was short and had pink nail polish on the toenails. Upon further investigation, I mean, I was looking at the leg that it was cut from the basically hip joint down to the foot. Other than that, the leg did not appear to be as disturbed, and I observed the cuts on the leg to be clean.
That the cuts were or were not intentional?
That they were straight, not jagged, not torn.
Yeah, so there's that. Jenna, this is my last question for you, and this is pretty interesting what the defense is trying to portray. That if she was murdered in Maxwell Anderson's home, then where's the DNA evidence? Did the jury kind of react to that at all?
I think it's a question that is raised and is part of our judicial process in general. You know, the jury has to prove beyond a reasonable doubt that Maxwell Anderson killed Sade Robinson. And the evidence that the state provides has to prove beyond a reasonable doubt that he did it. And I think that when you hear about this case in the media or something like that, sometimes, you know, you're only hearing the state's side. And in our country, we get to be able to provide evidence, and you have to be able to prove beyond a reasonable doubt that the person did it. And I think that the defense today, or I know that the defense rather, put up some arguments that, you know, they showed, the state showed some video of a silhouette, very much zoomed in, very much hard to see, but it was a silhouette of a person walking up and down those bluffs at Warnemont Park. And the defense argued that that individual couldn't be identified and couldn't even be identified as the same person walking up and down through that hour-and-a-half time frame. Same thing with showing some evidence of some surveillance video of nearby businesses. They showed some surveillance video from the Cudahy Police Department, Cudahy High School, Cudahy Water Department, and the pump house down by Lake Michigan where the leg was found. And the defense argued that it couldn't be proven that Maxwell Anderson was the one who was driving that car, let alone if it was Sade Robinson's car. So it'll be interesting moving forward to see when and if the state provides some sort of DNA evidence, and if, like you mentioned, Julia, if that evidence will be able to prove beyond a reasonable doubt that Maxwell Anderson is the person responsible for killing Sade Robinson.
Wow, so interesting. She is the most respected investigative reporter in our city. TMJ4 News, Jenna Ray, covering this case in the National Spotlight. Jenna, thank you for joining us.
Thank you, guys.
It's 5:25 on WTMJ.
Hey, John Mercure here for Kohl's. Check this out, Milwaukee. Kohl's is extending their incredible Memorial Day sale for one more week. If you missed out over Memorial Day weekend, now's your chance to shop their guaranteed best deals store-wide. Save big on furniture, appliances, and mattresses only for a limited time at Kohl's. This is the big sale. And while you're there, check out Flanner's Home Entertainment, located inside Kohl's showrooms in Grafton and West Allis. Flanner's, your destination for high-quality electronics. And right now, shop a special sale on audio components. Check out the speakers, receivers, amplifiers, and more. Get sound advice at the best price. Kohl's, I've shopped there recently in Delafield and West Allis. It's your one-stop shop for everything you need for your home. Furniture, appliances, mattresses, high-quality electronics. I just bought a sectional and a bedroom set. You can upgrade your living room all in one place. Design your dream sofa or sectional at Kohl's, then stop into Flanner's for all the audio. It's the place I shop. It is Kohl's.
Slide into your neighborhood Century Food Store to score the freshest produce, tastiest treats, and everything in between. Now through Wednesday, save on 4.75 to 16-ounce selected varieties Frito-Lay Lay's, Kettle Chips, or Red Gold Pretzels, 2 for $5. 8 to 16-ounce selected varieties Old Dutch Tortilla, Potato, or Kettle Chips, or Salsa, 2 for $5.50. 2.37 to 3.5-ounce selected varieties McCormick Grill Made Spices, 2 for $4. 14-ounce or 6-count selected varieties Haagen-Dazs Ice Cream or Bars, $3.99.
Ooh,
Pineapple fulfills every need.
While you're shopping, a drive way back, it's a gunner.
There's something goofy going on with the PA.
Need a price check and I'll take me out to the ball game.
See, what is going on?
You're hearing things. We're at Century Foods, and you can't take your mind off winning that ultimate baseball fan sweepstakes.
I'm hoping to throw out the first pitch at a Milwaukee baseball game.
Or attend batting practice.
Or hold the finish line ribbon for the racing sausages.
You don't say.
The ultimate baseball fan sweepstakes at Century Foods. Enter on Century's Facebook or Instagram by July 30th.
Some current employees or candidates for jobs may seem just average at first glance, while others have exceptional potential waiting to be discovered. Question is, how do you identify which ones are truly ready to excel? The LAK Group offers a huge range of employee assessments, so you have objective data backed by research to make hiring and development decisions. They even have culture assessments to uncover gaps and opportunities within your company. See all their assessments at transformingcareers.com. LAK, discover your human advantage.
The Mr. Fix-It Show this Saturday is sponsored by Aaron's. When purchasing lawn equipment from Olson's Outdoor Power Equipment, you're well taken care of after the sale. Olson's knowledgeable staff handles the warranty and parts, can answer all of your questions, and can handle all your tune-ups and repairs. Check out the impressive line of lawnmowers on display at Olson's Outdoor Power Equipment showroom in Muskego. Stop in and say hi to Fawn, the guest this Saturday on the Fix-It Show, sponsored by Aaron's. That's Olson's Outdoor Power Equipment in Muskego, sponsored by Aaron's. Lake Geneva is the Midwest's premier golf destination, featuring breathtaking views, crystal clear lakes, and rolling fairways. Treat yourself to an all-inclusive golf getaway with courses designed for all skill levels, luxurious lodging, distinctive dining, and a relaxing spa. Plan a Lake Geneva group golf outing, a corporate event, or a weekend getaway with friends or family. Their pros will help you plan a memorable golf experience. For info on courses and more, visit lakegeneva.com today. Lake Geneva, it's always been the place for legendary golf.
Let's not wait till it's 85 degrees to find out the air conditioner didn't make it through the winter. Vince Vitrano here for Urban Heating and Cooling. Ready to start a relationship with you before you need them in an emergency. I've got Ryan coming out to the house this month for an AC tune-up. He and his wife Ellie run the business out of Franklin, serving all of southeast Wisconsin. I trust them in our family home because they know they're serving their friends and neighbors. Got a big project? Financing is available. Tell them Vinny sent you to Urban Heating and Cooling, urbanheatingandcooling.com.
Welcome back to Ask Hassellus.
If you could spend 1 month anywhere, where would you go?
Easy. I'd go to bed.
I mean, anywhere in the world.
Precisely.
You'd spend the entire month in bed?
Specifically, a new Tempur-Pedic from Hassellus Mattress.
Why?
Because I can take 60 months to pay for it. Through Monday, get 60 months interest-free financing on select Tempur-Pedic mattresses, plus a $300 MasterCard gift card.
60 months. That means...
You can buy a Queen Tempur-Pedic ProAdapt Hybrid with ease adjustable base for just $74 a month.
And I get a $300 MasterCard gift card.
Free next-day delivery and employee-free showrooms, too.
So I can try and buy...
With no pushy sales guy.
Hang on.
What are you doing?
Searching for a travel agent to book a month-long vacation at Hassellus Mattress.
Enjoy 60 months interest-free financing on select Tempur-Pedics through Monday at Hassellus Mattress. Open 9 to 9. Find an employee-free showroom near you or shop online at hassellus.com.
Traffic is sponsored by Flanners Home Entertainment. Flanners.com. Just press play.
Upgrade your entertainment setup today. For the best in audio and video for your home, indoors and outdoors, Flanners Home Entertainment delivers sound advice at the best price. Flanners, just press play.
Wisconsin's afternoon news on Wisconsin's radio station, News Radio WTMJ.
It's 5:30. I'm Julia Fellow. Your top story this half hour. A graphic homicide trial gets underway in Milwaukee.
And I'm Toya Washington in for John McCure. A Lake Michigan warning from the Coast Guard.
I'm Debbie Lazaga. Got a couple of issues going on. Southbound on 41, just north of Appleton Avenue. Looks like we've got a crash there. Can't quite see if there's any lanes blocked, but definitely seeing some delays through there. Also on northbound 94, just past Grange, we've got the left lane blocked with another crash, and that's backing things up through the airport spur. So give yourself tons of time through there. Northbound 43 backing up out of the Marquette all the way to Keefe. Southbound slowing from Capitol Drive down through the Marquette to the KK River. I'm Debbie Lazaga with your WTMJ Time Saver Traffic.
Slight chance of showers tonight, then it'll be mostly cloudy, a low 52. Tomorrow, cloudy with a chance of evening showers. The high will be 65. Right now, it's 58 degrees in Milwaukee and cloudy. From the WTMJ Breaking News Center, Day 2 of the Maxwell Anderson trial is in the books.
Maxwell Anderson, prosecutor Ian Vance Cruzan told the jury.
And what I'm going to ask you to do now and ask you to do at the end of trial is two things. And they're two things that the judge just mentioned during those instructions. Use your common sense and search for the truth. That is your job.
Defense attorney Anthony Cotton told the jury.
And they're using the phrase common sense because they want you to ignore the mountain of reasonable doubt that exists in this case.
The trial is expected to last 2 weeks with graphic testimony and dozens of witnesses ahead. Nizer Spencer, WTMJ News.
Suspended for a week by the Wisconsin Supreme Court, Dane County Judge Ellen Burrs was presiding over an OWI case in December of 2021 where the defendant didn't show up because he was in the hospital. She then ordered her bailiff to go arrest him, even leaving the court herself to get him. She eventually returned to the court without him and ordered a bench warrant for his arrest. The Wisconsin Judicial Commission filed a misconduct complaint against Burrs in October. That suspension will start June 26th.
The head of a human smuggling plot gets a decade in prison for the deaths along the U.S.-Canadian border. WCCO's Susie Jones.
10 years in prison for the alleged ringleader of an international human smuggling ring after a family from India died in a blizzard while trying to cross the Canadian border into the U.S. Harsh Kumar Patel was sentenced in federal court in Fergus Falls. The bodies of the two parents and two children were found in Manitoba, just across the Minnesota border in 2022. Prosecutors say the wind chill was 36 below zero at the time. Susie Jones for CBS News, Minneapolis.
The family of a little girl with a life-threatening condition is in a fight to stay in the U.S. KNX's Karen Adams reports.
Sophia's mom, Daisy, says she brought her daughter to the U.S. legally on humanitarian parole so the little girl could receive life-saving treatment for short bowel syndrome. Now that visa has been revoked and they've been told to leave the U.S. now. Daisy spoke through an interpreter.
I am very scared because Sophia runs a risk of not receiving the treatment that she requires.
The family's attorney.
If deported, Sophia's doctors have been clear that she will die within days.
The treatment's not available outside the U.S. Karen Adams for CBS News, Los Angeles.
President Donald Trump's recent pardon announcements are making waves. News Nation's Raquel Martin.
Trump says he's considering pardoning two men currently in prison for plotting to kidnap Michigan Governor Gretchen Whitmer. A jury found Barry Croft Jr. and Adam Fox guilty in 2022, authorities say, in the lead up to the November 2020 election. The two men devised a plan to grab the Democratic governor from her vacation home and launch a civil war. But the president says he's skeptical of the verdict.
It looked to me like somewhat of a railroad job, I'll be honest with you.
Governor Whitmer has made two public appearances alongside the president since he returned to the White House. Her office could not be reached for comment.
This week, the president officially pardoned reality TV stars Todd and Julie Chrisley.
Actor Kevin Costner is being sued by a stunt performer on one of his films. ABC's Alex Stone has the details.
A stunt double on Kevin Costner's Horizon 2, an American saga.
I'm here with some others, trading horses mostly.
Claims she had to take part in an unscripted rape scene and was not given proper warning and that safety rules weren't followed. Devin Labella is suing Costner and the film's production company for sexual discrimination, sexual harassment, hostile work environment, emotional distress, and breach of contract. Her lawsuit saying the filing is meant to address failures at the highest levels of Hollywood production companies involving sexually explicit and violent scenes. Alex Stone, ABC News, Los Angeles.
If you scored a great travel deal online, you might want to take a closer look. The BBB, Better Business Bureau, surveying Wisconsin, warning travelers about convincing copycat websites, tricking people into booking rooms that don't even exist. Here is the BBB.
It's not just hotels. It's anything to do with the travel industry. It's airlines. You think that you're on, United Airlines website, which happened to me once, and you're not. And then all of a sudden you're putting in personal information, you're putting in financial information, credit card information, and then realize later when it's probably too late.
To avoid these scams, Schiller recommends paying close attention to URLs and grammar usage.
16 states say the National Science Foundation is illegally divesting millions of dollars from university research efforts to align with the Trump administration's anti-DEI mandate. This, according to a new lawsuit filed Wednesday. CBS's Tracy Wolf.
16 attorneys general filed a lawsuit in federal court against the National Science Foundation for its termination of grants that promote diversity, study misinformation, and address environmental justice. The lawsuit also alleges that the National Science Foundation will no longer cover indirect costs that it previously awarded to help support research, including obtaining and maintaining lab space and disposing of biological and chemical materials used in research. The Democratic states that brought the lawsuit claim the termination of grants and funds will devastate STEM research at higher education institutions in their respective states. Tracy Wolf, CBS News.
Dangerous military pyrotechnics are adrift right now in Lake Michigan.
The silver cylinders are military flares that produce a red smoke and flame that can reach temperatures of nearly 3,000 degrees Fahrenheit. They were deployed in a Coast Guard training exercise in Milwaukee, but several didn't activate.
At this point, they could have lit off, burned. Once they do go off, the shells can sink.
Lake Michigan Public Affairs Officer Joe Neff tells WTMJ the public should still be cautious.
We just don't want anybody to find one of these, think it's a souvenir, pick it up, take it home, and then it activate inside their car or their house and catch something on fire.
Jessica Gatso, WTMJ News.
Time for a WTMJ Sports Update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call, That's All Sports Desk. The Brewers sweep the Sox, winning 6-5 in extra innings this afternoon. The Brew Crew has Thursday off before heading to Philly Friday. The U.S. Women's Open back in Wisconsin this week for the first time since 2012. This year, it's at Erin Hills for the first time.
Stay with us. TMJ4 News Chief Meteorologist Brian Isnansky joins us. Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 5:38.
Get 0% financing for up to 6 years at Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. When having new Pella windows and doors installed at your home, you get the full Pella experience. That means we're with you from start to finish. Our team doesn't disappear after the work is done. Just like with Vinny, your Pella experience starts with a free in-home consultation.
It was a really comfortable kitchen table chat. We knew Pella was going to get it right the first time, and they designed a project with us. They didn't just replace our windows and doors.
With customizations driving limitless possibilities, our Pella experts truly listen to your vision, just as we did with Nicole.
I felt like they really listened to us. There are so many options that are available, so it was nice to have someone narrow those down, offer some suggestions, and they made sure that the design was what we wanted.
Don't wait any longer, because right now at Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, get 0% financing for up to 6 years. Visit PellaWI.com today.
Certain restrictions apply. It's 5/31/2025. Wisconsin's Afternoon News on WTMJ.
Wisconsin's Afternoon News podcast is sponsored by Dave Drakamp Heating. Your comfort is their family's tradition. Visit DaveDrakamp.com. All right, he is Chief Meteorologist for TMJ4 News, Brian Isnansky. Brian, do you see what I'm wearing right now?
Yeah, I was wondering if the furnace broke or what.
Are you cold, Toya?
It is cold in here. I didn't bring a jacket for the first time, and now I'm kind of regretting my whole decisions, all of them.
If you text watch, you can see me in my weird fur coat.
Yes, ready to take over Gotham City as we were.
101 Dalmatians.
I mean, seriously, like the big fur and everything. Do we need to go that big with the coat?
It's over. Oh God, you know who would be so over the top with whatever I'd wear live on TMJ4? Steve Shamraz.
Of course he would.
He'd be like, "What's with the earmuffs? It's not that cold yet."
Oh, please.
Fashion police.
I should just keep my mouth.
Yeah. Don't let Steve see this.
How is that coat not put away in like a closet somewhere for the season by now?
Oh, that's the jinx. You never put away the winter stuff.
No kidding.
No,
Okay,
you don't
that's
take
true.
the mud mats out of the car either, because then it's going to snow again. I don't take the ice scraper out of the car.
Yeah.
None of it. That's bad juju. You leave it there. Leave it alone.
I hear you. Same thing. I throw the winter shovels like up above in the attic in the garage, like a little bit. I wait until June to do that because I don't want any sort of possibility. I hear you.
It's a little chilly out today, no?
It is. Yeah. I mean, it's not like Eskimo fur coat chilly, Julia, but it's chilly. We got temperatures. We're 59 right now in Milwaukee, and it wasn't our best day. We had rain through much of the day. Many locations close to a half inch of rainfall. Most of that rain is over with. We do have a few sprinkles or some very light showers to go this evening, but I wouldn't expect too much more in the way of rain.
All right, we're just overall tired of this, give and take with flirting with summer. This weekend, please tell us there's something decent on tap.
Yeah, her daughter's
There
graduating.
is.
Yes, next weekend.
Oh.
That's the 7th. Yes, not this weekend, but
okay.
yes, the following weekend.
Okay.
If you want to tell me what the
congrats to your
7th's
daughter.
going to, thank you. If you want to tell me what the 7th's going to look like, that would be great.
I got right now, I have 75 and partly cloudy on my little chicken scratch note here. But
For
yeah,
next Saturday, huh?
Yeah, for next Saturday.
Okay.
So
Excellent.
that would be perfect. Don't hold me to it, but right now it looks good. I would say we start turning that page this weekend. We start to warm up a little bit. This weekend looks great. But by next week, even by Monday, the pattern really shifts where we get the southwest flow. Temperatures soar well into the 70s, if not 80s. I think even here in Milwaukee, we could be talking about 80s by Tuesday into Wednesday, maybe again on Thursday. And then we dip back a little bit, but not to where we are. So that dip back could be the 70s for your big graduation day.
Wow. So I'll be in my bikini this time next week from fur coat.
That's how we do it in Wisconsin. I mean, if you don't know, now you know.
All right, Brian, take us home with the 5-day.
Yeah. So for tonight, again, we're looking at just a few sprinkles. Low temperature, 52 degrees, mostly cloudy skies. For tomorrow, partly cloudy with a chance of showers in the afternoon. If you're heading out to Erin Hills tomorrow, Women's U.S. Open, there's a chance of a couple pop-up downpours in the afternoon, so watch out for that. 65 degrees for Thursday. That is Thursday. For Friday, partly cloudy and warmer, a high of 75 with the chance of thunderstorms in the evening. Saturday, mostly sunny, 64 lakeside, 72 inland. Sunday, sunny, 67 lakeside, and 74 inland. So a really nice looking weekend ahead.
That's TMJ4 News Chief Meteorologist Brian Isnansky. Brian, thank you. We'll talk to you tomorrow.
Yep, sounds good. See ya.
5:43 on WTMJ.
Ready to join the fun? With Girl Scouts Extended Year Membership from Girl Scouts,
you can sign up by June 30th and get up to 18 months of adventure through September 30th, 2026.
Girls starting kindergarten or first grade in 2025 will also receive 3 Get Ready with Girl Scouts activity books.
Featuring games, crafts, and stories the whole family will love, for free. Plus, you'll even get a special gift from the Girl Scouts. Join today and get ready to grow, explore, and shine with Girl Scouts.
WTMJ's Vince Vitrano talking with Dr. Mike Nolte at Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin. Doc, a lot of people are hesitant to visit a surgeon for spine care.
The good news is that the vast majority of patients that I see and the majority of conditions that I can see can be successfully treated without surgery. And I don't want patients to think that just because you're seeing a spine surgeon means that you're going to be signing up for surgery. We talk about in my clinic kind of a plan A, a plan B, and a plan C.
Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin, there is a difference. OrthoWisconsin.com.
From the biggest stars to the greatest moments, Behind the Bucks is Bucks history like you've never heard it before. Go behind the scenes of the Emmy-nominated Giannis documentary. Get the real story of the blockbuster trade for Damian Lillard. Hear the origin of Bucks in 6. It's all on Behind the Bucks on the Bucks Plus audio network, presented by Gallagher, your trusted insurance broker and HR and benefits consultant. Available now on bucks.com/plus, the Bucks app, and wherever you get podcasts.
The countdown to summer is on at Heiser Automotive. And guess what? You're getting employee pricing on new Ford and Lincoln vehicles. But wait, we are making it even better. Get double the employee discount on remaining new 2024 models. Yes, more savings equals more fun. And with our exclusive Safe and Sound experience, you'll get roadside assistance for life. Whether you're cruising to the lake or hitting the open road this summer, we've got your back. Don't miss these deals. The summer fun starts at Heiser. Visit HeiserFord.com today.
See dealer for complete details on 5/31/2025. If you missed this,
can you talk about how often officers are ending up at schools and how difficult those situations are?
3,100 calls a school year. It was about 17 calls a day.
Or this.
Handpicking the press pool. What are your thoughts on that?
I have many, as you might imagine. I've been in the press pool covering the White House, the greatest privilege of my reportorial life.
Catch up on the Wisconsin's Afternoon News podcast at WTMJ.com, presented by Dave Drakamp Heating. Hey, WTMJ's John Mercure here for my guys at Loyal Family Renovations. You know, dealing with your insurance company when you're dealing with fixing your house can be a nightmare. Loyal Family helped me as I navigated getting a new roof. They worked with me and my insurance company. I'm getting everything replaced, getting what we deserve. Downspouts, gutters, and the roof, even the skylights. It's Loyal Family Renovations. They'll make it easy for you. They will take great care of you like they're taking care of me. And they execute on time, every time. Loyal Family Renovations, your family's home is their top priority.
The very front of the Brewers front office is on Wisconsin's Morning News.
I think it's something sort of our brand of baseball. You know, we're going to play you tough and play hard night in and night out, and we're here and we're going to fight you all 9 innings.
Brewers GM and Senior Vice President Matt Arnold is our Brewers 360 guest every Thursday morning at 8:45.
How soon do I start asking you about trades and stuff, Matt?
My phone's always on. So, no.
Brewers 360 is sponsored by Outdoor Living Unlimited and Big Fish Contracting.
Traffic is sponsored by Design Exchange in Heartland and Pewaukee. Design Exchange is where discerning buyers with discriminating tastes come to find premium home decor on consignment at 25 to 40% off retail prices in Heartland and Pewaukee.
There's only one store that gives you every possible choice in diamonds.
Welcome to Kessler's.
At 5:47 on WTMJ, let's get to our wonderful Debbie Lazaga with a check of your traffic.
Well, we got trouble on northbound 41 at the off-ramp to Capitol Drive. We have the right lane blocked with a broken down vehicle. So watch out. Pretty hefty delays coming up from Watertown Plank Road all the way up to that point. Southbound's got your usual backups south of Appleton Avenue down past Capitol Drive. Eastbound 94, some delays from 84th Street through the stadium. The westbound side slowing from about 30th Street to Mitchell Boulevard. Southbound 43 still a bit heavy from just south of Capitol Drive all the way down through the Marquette down to the KK River. I'm Debbie Lazaga with your WTMJ Time Saver Traffic.
He cut up her body, tried to get rid of her body parts, and tried to cover it up in any way that he could.
That's part of the opening statement by prosecution laying out the gruesome details of the murder of 19-year-old Sade Robinson. The state is pointing the guilt towards the man that she was on a first date with and the last person known to see her alive, 34-year-old Maxwell Anderson. These details are hard to hear. I want to warn you before I play any of what the jury heard next from the prosecution to begin this case. Shocking details of this heinous crime.
That night, she was murdered by Maxwell Anderson. Her body was dismembered by Maxwell Anderson in a vicious and gruesome manner. And then Maxwell Anderson attempted to make her disappear from this world by discarding her body.
Prosecution laid out that 19-year-old Sade Robinson went to two different locations, a restaurant and a bar with Maxwell Anderson, then went to his house on the south side in Cudahy. Never came back home to her apartment that night. They also tracked his every move, thanks to Robinson's downloading an app on her phone called Life 360. That app shows exactly where she was down to the minute, shared with her friends and family, and it includes Anderson's home that she was at for about 3 hours, then to Warnemount Park in Cudahy, where Anderson is accused of driving her already cut-up body to and placing pieces of her body in Lake Michigan. Finally, that app shows where her car was taken to and torched on the north side. The next day, her leg was found washed ashore in Cudahy by a passerby. Meanwhile, the frantic family members were already outside searching for Sade the next morning and found even more evidence on the city's north side.
During these searches, family, friends, and police found Sade Robinson's other leg and other foot scattered and severed into pieces near that playground at 31st and Galena, just a block and a half away from where her car was set on fire.
I could only imagine what her friends and family were thinking when they saw these things, including her torched car. Prosecution say that the cuts on her body that were found of her body parts were clean, meaning that according to investigators, tools had to be used to intentionally dismember this young Milwaukee woman.
Maxwell Anderson intentionally decapitated Sade Robinson, intentionally cut off both of her legs, cut off her left arm, intentionally cut off her right breast, which has never been found, and intentionally cut off her head to date, which is still missing and has never been recovered.
Anne made clear to the jury what happened to Sade was no accident.
One does not end up going out to dinner and then going out for drinks on Water Street for a good time to being dead and cut up into pieces and discarded into Lake Michigan unless someone intends for that to happen.
Exactly. Anderson has pled not guilty, maintains his innocence. So what could his defense be? His attorney said in opening statements today, there's no disputing that they went on a date. It's on surveillance video. They went back to his house. They saw friends. And there's no disputing that Sade was dismembered. But his defense attorney says, where is the evidence that Maxwell Anderson had anything to do with her murder and dismemberment that night?
What I didn't hear was the theory of why Max did this, how Max did this. But I think what I heard in opening just now is that Max must have done this at his home. We don't dispute any of that timeline that they went out together and went back to Max's house, but that doesn't mean he killed her. How did he do it, and why did he do it? Why would he ever do something like that? If Max killed Sade in his home, if it happened in that location, as I think they're offering to you, there would be a mountain of DNA evidence. There would be blood. Yes, it's gruesome. Yes, it's horrible. Nobody deserves it. But what was glaringly missing, from what I heard, was any discussion about DNA evidence.
That's defense attorney Anthony Cotton. And if you know that name, he represented Morgan Geyser in the Slenderman stabbing trial. So he's a very well-known defense attorney. He also added another thing he hopes the jury will think about. Well, prosecution did not say in their opening statement as well that Maxwell Anderson lives in a duplex. And he says that's important to know and for the jury to know because the neighbor who will testify later for his defense could hear every single footstep.
A self-described or self-professed light sleeper. I think one of the things he had said to the police is even if one of Max's dogs is chewing a bone on the floor, he would even hear that and send messages to Max, your dog is chewing a bone, you're keeping me up, you're bothering me. He's a very light sleeper guy. And what Pete Warbington will tell you is that he was home, he was there that night, there was no struggle, there was no fight, there was no horrific event, argument between Max and Sade, but this is a downstairs tenant who can hear even the TV playing. Nothing.
So this jury, made up of 12 women and 3 men, will need to decide if Maxwell Anderson is guilty of murder, mutilating a corpse, arson, and hiding a corpse. Meanwhile, right in the front row, Toya, is a mother grieving. Sade's mother looking on as all of this is said in court. She looks like she has bags in her eyes, hasn't slept. This is just horrible. The court was already warned that photos of her daughter's body parts will be shown. One could only imagine what this mother is going through. Her daughter, Sade, was studying criminal justice at Milwaukee Area Technical College, was set to graduate the month after she was killed. So she was killed April 1st. She was supposed to graduate in May, and she was going to enlist in the Air Force. And that is what should be remembered, is Sade in all of this. We'll be following this case. Those are opening statements. Day 3 starts tomorrow at about 9 o'clock. So we'll be covering that. So if you ever want to get up to date on anything that's going on Wisconsin's Afternoon News, we have a podcast. So let's say that tomorrow or right now you wanted to share what happened today and with what I just talked about, you can text WAN, W-A-N, to 855-616-1620, WAN to 855-616-1620. It stands for Wisconsin's Afternoon News. And it gets you up to date with all of our podcasts. Wherever you have a podcast and stream, we are there. So you can have that, and we'll have more updates throughout this entire week. It will go into next week, possibly the week after that, and we will see. 5:55 on WTMJ. Libby Collins is in for Sandy Max. Love Libby for What's on Tap. You got to stay with her. And we also have your news and business headlines next.
These are your business headlines from the Milwaukee Business Journal.
A controversial hotel project in the Deer District will be reviewed by the city on Wednesday. The 7-story hotel proposed by the Bucks has gotten pushback from some city leaders who say the site should get a bigger, denser hotel, but there's disagreement about whether or not the city can hold out for a hypothetically better project. Although more apartment buildings are being built nationwide than ever before,